What up, gamers? I'm Jason, and today on Dice & Dragons, I'm going to be unboxing Stars of Akarios, published by OOMM Games. I believe that's how it's pronounced. It's spelled OOMM Games, so hopefully I got that right. If I did not, please correct me down below in the comment section. It is also designed by Brendan McCaskell. Now, this is a Canadian company, and really happy to have some more, local homegrown content on the channel. Hopefully, Julie and I will be getting this to the table soon, but we are a little busy. I have to say, though, I'm really interested in this game. It is a sci-fi legacy campaign game where you're going to be pilots and flying starfighters getting to space combat as you travel across the Akarios Galaxy, exploring new worlds and sometimes battling enemies in space, which I think is just really, really cool. Not quite sure how everything's going to work with the campaign system, how everyone's going to level up. This is really going to be my first look into the box. Taking a quick peek, but we haven't gone through the rulebook or anything like that. As you can see here on the cover of the box, a planet gets attacked, and from there your story will start. This is for 1 to 4 players, and it's been called Gloomhaven in Space. So definitely checks all the boxes for me. Now let's take a look at what's in all these boxes. Now let's take a look at what's in the box for Stars of Akarios. This is a game I've been eagerly awaiting. Now Julie and I are in the middle of quite a few campaign games, so I'm not quite sure when this is going to get to the table. But yeah, it's going to happen sometime soon. Hopefully this year. We're trying to get caught up on some review copies and clean some of our other favorites up. But I'd say expect this maybe to get played in the later part of the year. So here we've got the player boards. I believe these are just not double-sided, but they're just stacked, back to back. So you do get 4 of them, 1 for each player. I love the fact that they're dual layered. So a spot for your ship, your pilot. Tracking on looks like your energy, health, a few other things. Slide in different tech cards, ship abilities, your engines. I'm not quite sure what these dice represent, as I haven't gone through the rules. Literally just opening this up, but so far looks really, really cool. Now, next we've got, I'm not quite sure what we've got here. Stars of Akarios. So this is a map just of the universe, the Intergalactic Alliance, Destria, Draconian Vertus, where you are, the Abyss, Rathian Empire. So very cool. I like the fact that this map is included. So here we've got the standees that come with the core of the game. Now we'll get this opened up. I'll take a look. Now, I really won't be able to tell you what is what. Also, you definitely won't be seeing us using the standees, most likely, because we do have the miniatures, which we'll be taking a look at shortly. So we've got different ships. So we've got some pilots, characters, different hexes and things that can be used for your play space. We'll actually put this stuff off to the side over here. So we got number 2, some more ships. We've got, looks to be our pilots, Starla, Violet Ray, Enver, and Gerdin. Here we've got the Argonaut, the Karis, the Gnosis, Markava, and the Invictus. These look to be like our ships. Of course, we can get even better ships and other pilots. So I'm not quite sure how that actually works. I'm very eager to see if we're going to be, one ship or bust, or we're going to be upgrading them all. So it looks like we've got like different readings on them. You also can see that they've got different characteristics: Assault Heavy, Command Assault Scout, Command Research Heavy, a few more pilots. Then we have some more what's clearly locations to go out on the playmat or the board. I mean, we've got the playmat, which is going to be pretty cool. These look to be objectives, asteroid belt, and some more planets. That'll show up as you're playing the game. So next we've got all the rest of the content. Just want to pop it open and see what we've got under here. So tons and tons of stuff to take a look at. And one thing that we're not going to do is open up each and every deck of cards. We'd be here forever. So I want to keep this moving a little bit more than we have in the past. So we'll take a look at what we've got here. So start here, Fulia. So these are all, start here, Jutsu. Start here at Chosek. So these are definitely for different missions and things like that. Here we've got enemy combat cards. So Yeah, and each of them are related to specific things. So I don't really want to go through the Ronin Scout, enemy combat. So these are all related to different enemies and things like that. So we've got, Ronin Scouts, Arna, so maybe these are going to be ships we're going to be protecting. Looks more like our style of ships here. We've got enemy combat, but also some invent cards for the Adestria system. Here we've got different weapons, and looks like attack booster side effects that we can trigger. We've got Deep Strike, so they're the engines. Advanced control cards, so these are tech that we can add to our ship. Here we've got different modifiers that'll come into play to play the game. So all these are modifiers like ×2, ×1. Ship abilities for the different ships, pilot abilities, co-pilot abilities as well, so you'll be able to get some co-pilots throughout the course of the game. And you may be wondering, like I said, I don't want to open this up. We'd be going through every little piece of the components forever. And I also don't want to screw this up because this is a legacy game. So opening some of this stuff up beforehand could reveal some aspects that we don't want to. So here we've got just stats for the ship. Well, sorry, for the pilots, Dusty, Enver. Just want to see if we've got different stuff underneath. No, they're all the same. So these are sheets that you can use to track your pilots. We've got, get rid of these, different cubes. And I'm not sure where I should store these cubes. I'm not going to open them right yet. We've got black cubes, some purple cubes, red cubes. We have blue and yellow cubes. We'll move these pads off. Let's see what we've got here. Looks like we've got some of the miniatures, and it was probably done in such a way that it actually matched the characters. So let's open this one up right here. Let's see what we have. These are game trace pieces. They're really nice. A little sticky here. So we do have geared in, I believe, with their spaceship miniature, well, at least which one will be their starting ship. And this definitely reminds me of a Drouthy from Wing Commander. And then here we've got just what looks to be their starting deck. So we'll move these aside. Just going to remember how they are put in and go ahead and try to make sure I keep the right players' names with their cards. Alright, so let's open up what we got here. So this is Enver's starting ship. Pretty cool, like the look of it. I also like these stands, and it looks like this is how you can identify like who's the pilot, just to help make things a little clearer. We've got a miniature for Enver, and then we have their starting deck. So that is very cool. The more I'm looking through this, the more I'm wanting to get this to the table sooner rather than later. But we do have quite a few other commitments and stuff that we do need to finish up before that will be possible. All right, so we'll keep moving on here. And one of these is K2, the other one is Dusty. I believe K2 was here up here in the corner. Could be wrong. So we've got the pilot car, the pilot. Got their ship. Very cool looking starfighter. Their deck. Now, like I said, I may have gotten it wrong since I removed their stuff too early, but I believe we had K2 over there. And then the last one here is Dusty, or I'm actually maybe thinking, looking at the miniature, that this was K2. Yeah, I believe this is K2. We just looked at Dusty. Then we've got their ship, which looks pretty cool. So far, I'm liking the one that looks like a Drouthy just because of my love of Wing Commander. That is a game that I've spent countless hours playing. So we'll get this reorganized. All right. Here we have what looks to be like our carrier. It's going to be taking us into battle. So this is also part player board, storage space, different trauma that we can suffer. So pretty cool stuff. I like the way that we're using storage and Actually, this could be for all the other cubes as well, but everything looks like it's useful storage and an actual game piece. Here we've got a stack of just different enemy boards. Take a look. And we've got just some combat effects reference cards. There looks to be some stuff that's going to come into play as you play the game. So these are all the same. The back, these have the symbol for Akarios. Here we've got just some Act 2 stuff. And then some other pilots, I guess, that we can acquire. Violet Ray, Groud, Yolindo, and Starliz we saw earlier. We saw their tiles. Looks like here is the miniature for the Sparrow. It's going to be carrying us into battle. I wonder if it's going to be able to fight with us as well. I do like that you automatically get miniatures for the heroes. I think that's important. So here we've got the player board, as well as a quick reference guide and the rule book. So I really dislike packaging things like this. I find it's just a waste of plastic wrap. Now, it definitely is going to be a lot easier for companies to package stuff like this, but as you can see, opening it up makes it very easy to damage any booklets and things like that are inside. So we'll put this back down here quickly. We'll take a look at the rule book. So we've got a list of all the components, ship tiles, player ships, Sparrow, explanation how to set everything up, different classes, explanation of combat. So far so good. This is definitely looks like it's a little bit on the heavy side in terms of rules. So, and there's world exploration, you can set up worlds. So that's what was going on there actually with the other miniatures that I wasn't sure about. You'll be able to go down to planets, and some of those cards we have under these are for exploring worlds, as well as some of the smaller cards. And yeah, it looks very cool. Has some nice references. It definitely will be a game that's going to take a little while to get used to. We'll look at the board, but I don't think there's really too much special here. It's just a double-sided board. So you get a star field, which you can just adjust. And on the back, you've got a star field with a few planets. We'll try to just showcase as much of the board as possible there. Take a look at what we've got underneath. So we do have the scenario book. Now, once again, we're talking about plastic wrapping. This is just ridiculous and definitely not something that I like. I'm gonna have to be very careful opening this up. And if we were looking at some of the other stuff we've got here, so for the other pilots, we do have their ship miniatures. So we'll take a look at this first. Ship minis. Very cool. I do like the variety, like of all the ships and stuff representing the different races. So I'm guessing that this is also a player ship, because there's a total of 10 of them. And we saw 4, and we've got a total of 6 down here. And then these are the other 4 pilots for when you're going to be exploring planets. Yeah, this is a game that's definitely going to get played. How many times? I'm not sure, but it should be quite a few. So here we have just the standees, black and yellow. I'm not sure what the difference are for, and we've got the dice, which I will take a look at after I get the scenario book opened up. And there we go. Not the best use of plastic, and definitely didn't keep anything in better shape per se. So we have the Welcome to Stars of Akarios, QR code for Learn How to Play. Then it just has your explanations for the training missions. You go to the Sparrow, and then we've got really the first missions. As you can see, there's quite a few missions in here. So 94, 91, just tons and tons of stuff. This is a game that will take a very long time to play. One thing that I'm liking that I'm seeing here is storage spaces for other components once it gets once you start opening things up. So I do get a nice feeling that everything's going to fit fairly well. So here we've got the dice. So I'm guessing this is movement, like different hexes you can move. Maybe this is extra movement here, damage. Not quite sure what the other symbols are, but I do like the custom dice. Everything looks good. Now we'll get everything boxed back up here, and I'm glad I didn't go through taking a look at all of the different cards because I'm not quite sure what everything does, and I get the feeling like we would have been at this for quite a while. But really happy to see just the different spaces for all the components underneath. So it means that everything's going to fit quite nicely. Storage here. This is, yeah, there we go. And then next, I'm trying to remember how everything goes back in. Next we had foam, which you can keep for now. We got the player board. We got this. Now, I don't think the foam was there, but I'm going to use the foam here just because I think it fits well. At least for the moment, we'll put all of these pieces back in here. I do get the feeling, however, that the foam may need to go just to get everything nicely in the box. But so far, everything looks good. Not quite sure if there's a space for the standees. We saw spaces for the hexes and a few other components, but it does look like we don't quite have space necessarily for all of the different standees, but we will figure that out once we get this to the table, or even when I'm just punching it and sorting it, probably when I get a little bit of extra time in the near future. So there you have it. Taking a look at the core box for Stars of Akarios. Now, keep it right here as I'll be coming back at you with the unboxing of the miniatures and then some of the other extras that we got with the game. Now we're going to take a look at the miniatures expansion, the ships of Akarios. So this will replace the enemy ship standees that you saw. So we do get some of those enemy ships. Now, I don't know exactly which is which yet, but as you can see, you've got a whole ton of them. It's very cool. I'm happy to have the miniatures as well, especially ones that have the level of detail that these ones do. Not that I ever paint miniatures, something that I really wish I had the time to embark on. So all these different little ships, you even have some of the big enemy capital ships. So you can see you'll be facing off against enemy fighters, as well as big honking capital ships. Now, they're very easy to get in and out of packaging, which is nice. It's a big plus when that's the case. Also, they fit quite nicely in this one box with very little wasted space. So that's something that I always really enjoy because it means it's easier for me to justify keeping it. Here we just have the different bases that you'll need to stand up for the ships. We've got some, looks to be like space stations, things like that. So we got enemy space stations or big giant cruisers that you'll be facing off against. Some heavier battleships, not necessarily the big bad ones. Maybe even some allies that are going to show up in the game. These look a little bit more like our hero ships. So it could be tankers, things like that that we need to defend. Some more enemy cruisers. I do like that the fact I do like that the game went with some distinctly alien designs. That's not something that you always see. You know, sometimes good and bad guys both look very human, even though the enemies aren't human in terms of the aesthetic. So that's one thing that I do really like about the game, that they took that into account. So there you have it. We've taken a look at the miniatures expansion. If you're a big fan of quality miniatures and like to ensure that your game has the best table presence possible, this might be the expansion for you. All right, now keep it right here as I'll be coming back at you with some of the other items we got for the game, such as the playmat and the art book. Now we're going to take a look at the playmat and some of the other accessories that came with our pledge for Stars of Akarios. So as you can see, we've got the playmat. It has a nice stitch edging. It is double-sided with the black just being the star, sorry, flipped it a little too far there. The black is just the star field. So we'll pull it up there just so you can get a nice look at the overall. As you can see, it's the same as what we saw previously. Then the other aspect, well, the other item we got was the Stars of Akarios art book here, which just has some explanations about the game. You've got your map. You've got the Akarios Galaxy, just some explanations about the history, the lore, the art, the design. This is something that I'm always super interested in, especially when we're having this legacy game. So I really like this book, and I'm happy that I got it because it adds a nice extra layer to the game for me. And then you get a neat little Stars of Akarios notebook, and you can replace the paper in here, which is always good. And you can just scribble down some notes that you need for your campaign. And it says Stars of Akarios on it, a little difficult to see, but it was a nice little added value that came with the game. So there you have it. We've taken a look at all of the content for Stars of Akarios. Now keep it right here as I'll be coming back at you with a quick outro. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. If you like what you saw, don't forget to click that like button, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that YouTube will let you know when our next video is released. Also, down below in the video description, you'll find links to all of our social media feeds, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you'd like to see some pictures of Julie and I playing Stars of Akarios, there'll be plenty on those feeds when we get this to the table, hopefully later this year. And then down there is also a link to multizone.ca, so if you'd like to support the channel, click that link. You'll get 10% off your next purchase. And this is a great way to support us because we do get a portion of that purchase, which will be returned to us. And then popping up in front of me, I was going to say us, I'm just doing this one solo, will be links to some of our previously released videos. Over here will be our most recent release. And over here will take you back to our Infinity Defiance playlist, another epic sci-fi dungeon crawl, well, campaign game. Let's go with that. So there'll be some videos of the unboxings that we've done, and eventually I'll take you back to our review when we get that played as well. We got a lot of dungeon crawls to cover here on the channel. With that being said, don't forget, keep playing games.